Okay, hello Tashidele, hello everyone. Welcome back to the session. So we start with refreshing refuge in Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha, then generate altruistic intention to utilize this very session to be most meaningful. Sangye chodang soye chonang la janju bado dane kya sonje dage je sonje be sonam je dola penje sangye do barai jo sangye chodang soye chonang la janju bado dane kya sonje dage je sonje be sonam je dola penje sangye do barai jo sangye chodang soye chonang la janju bado dane kya sonje dage je sonje be sonam je Dola benje sanje do barai jo. Kange do zene zone dawa damje bambe jire dambe chene denze be ngodam de la cha se lo tonye nye je sondo jo be lam zeje zeje kanje dendu chana be mo denze nya zo la zo wa de zo da ye jin ye lo semje damje de wa dang de we ju dan de mra ju je semje damje do nga da do nga je ju dan da wa Semje damje donga mebe dewa dami dawa gyuje semje damje nire chata nidan rabe danyo la nepra gyuro je semje damje dewa danga dewe gyudan demra gyuje semje damje donga danga donga je gyudan rawa semje damje donga mebe dewa dami dawa gyuje semje damje nire chata nidan rabe danyo la nepra gyuro je semje damje dewa danga dewe gyudan demra gyuje Senje danje dunga 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 jenju dan tawa juje senje damje dunga me bende wa dan mi tawa juje senje danje nire jada ni dan da tanyo la ne barai yuru je. Yeah. So so we take a moment to generate compassion and send our aspirational thoughts in the present of all the people that who are any beings that who are going through suffering of samsara. In particularly in this very time, there are so many parts of the world that people are suffering from a flood, like even in Europe, great tragedies are happening, fires, like in Spain, that cause so much suffering to so many wild animals, people, of course. Then also in Nepal, India, then China, Southeast Asia, then other part of the world. There's so many natural disasters. Then on top of that, the COVID crisis, even in Australia, like in Sydney, in Melbourne now, there's a great stress because of the Delta variants. So, so keeping all those people who are in suffering, who are in fear in our heart, then we wish them sincerely from depth of our heart to be free from all this suffering it causes, and generate love, and at least in our prayers and thought, the act of love being present in them by simply, sincerely wishing them to abide in liberation, in freedom from all these obstacles. And also individually, people may be, there's so many people going through emotional sufferings, physical challenges, but in this stage, so many people going through emotional sufferings. So yeah, so we generate a moment of compassion and love. Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I also would like to take opportunity to express gratitude and thanks to each and every one of you, individuals, as well as the senders that who send a lot of prayers and best wishes on the birthday. So may my life be most meaningful in serving Buddha Dharma, in serving sentient beings. So may all your prayers and wishes for that be fulfilled. So thank you very much. Yeah, so we are started to study the Dhammarashita's mind training teaching title by the peacocks neutralizing or poisoned, or peacock roaming in the jungle of virulent poisons. So from the title already, that we understood, what to be trained, what to extract the meaning from this teaching, the essence. The tool that has the capability to, transform adversities, problems, sufferings, samsara, impurities, which is the attitude of bodhicitta and wisdom of emptiness. When we equip with this perfect method and perfect wisdom, then doesn't matter whether we are in samsara or nirvana, whether we are in suffering or happiness, whether we are in trouble or whether we are whether we are alive or whether we are dying or death, doesn't matter. Everything become meaningful. Every experiences become useful. Become a source of benefit to one's own enlightenment and the rest of the other sentient beings' enlightenment. So, so when we talk about transforming, our experiences onto the path to enlightenment, or taking our experiences path to enlightenment, is very much engaging, our life in the practice of six paramita in our best abilities, and if possible, then to engage as like the Bodhisattvas would do. So therefore, the first chapter, this teaching got few chapters. So the first chapter emphasizes on the practice of the Bodhisattva's generosity, the practice of the first perfection from the six paramita, the practice of generosity. And this teaching illustrate by sharing Dhammarashita, sharing Buddha's major Buddha's major six different kind of events of Buddha's past lifetime as a Bodhisattva, engaging in a very profound, selfless, altruistic practices of generosity. And the reason for that, as I mentioned in the last class, at this stage, we don't have the capability to engage similar way, and we shouldn't engage in that the same way by giving up our bodies and drawing blood and feed blood to the right yakshas. We don't have the capability. And Shantideva very clearly stated in the Bodhisattva that we shouldn't do that. Like what the Shantideva said, that in the absence of the pure thoughts of compassion, do not give away your body. You see, and such extent practices we should conduct when we are capable. Then there we shouldn't resist to engage in such practices in order for us to get perfected in the practice of six paramita and actualize the full enlightenment. We need to go through. We will have the capability to conduct such extent practices. So therefore, as like Shantideva says, but when the pure thoughts of compassion is present, you should give it away, no matter what occurs in this life and others. You see, in the course of realizing the great aims, which is full enlightenment. The meaning is, in order to actualize the full enlightenment, which is the greatest aim, greatest goal for oneself and the rest of the numberless sentient being, then we have to perform, in such an extent, practices like that. So at this stage, we at least know of these stories, then aspire ourselves, at least motivate to actualize, those capabilities. And the way to progress ourselves, towards that goal is for us to engage in the practices, like practice of generosity in our best capabilities. So that's the purpose. So today, so those of you who are using the same volume of text, then we are on page 155. We are we will study from verse 3. It says like this: just as when he was born as a king, Maitreyabala, he nourished a yaksha with his own blood, so too must you lovingly give to the blood drinkers warm blood from your heart, so hard to extract. So when you take account of practice by looking at this verse, then as I mentioned before, at least aspire now. Then after reading the first two lines, then one should one can read like this: in the same way, may I be able to give with the compassion the warm blood of my heart, so difficult to cut, to the blood drinkers. So translate to yourself, eventually able to do that. So even though here, you use about giving up flesh, giving up, bloods, etc., and giving up, your own wife, your own children, etc., is ultimately the meaning is talking about the extent, the degree of the capability of selflessness, the capability and the degree of, the cherishing of others' well-being, how high degree that we equip with, is very much to determine that. Mm. when um, when when we able to when we are purified, our self-cherishing attitude, and our heart is fully matured, cherishing only the well-being of others, in fully, then not necessarily that we always have to engage in in a such kind of giving up wives and daughters and your flashes as a and in that kind of in that capability, then even just giving away 1 grain of rice to the hunger also become altruistic practice of generosity, you see. So so from the object side, then there are extent of training, our practice even in such extents that expressed through these stories. But then from the subject, from our mind, then is about um, limiting or purifying our self-cherishing attitude and developing, increasing the cherishing the well-being of others. So it's about that. So the king Maitreyabala in this verse is talking about the king mighty of love, Gyalpo Chambetop. So it's talking about the the king mighty of love. So there's a story. Uh, mm, so a story related to this verse is like this. In ancient time, long before his enlightenment, the Buddha was a mighty king who loved others greatly. Once a blood drinking demon came to the kingdom and saw a shepherd playing and singing joyfully in the wild place. They were surprised that he could remain in such a dangerous place without fear. The demon questioned him about this, and in the response, he told them that he could stay there peacefully because the kingdom was protected by a great loving king. The demon wished to see the king for themselves, so they went to his palace and begged, and the king gave them many good things, clothes, jewelry, and so forth. But they were not satisfied. They said they didn't need such things, that they wanted a warm, fresh, the warm flesh and blood, warm flesh and blood, especially his blood. The king then gave the demon his blood without fear or hesitation. They were so surprised that they couldn't drink it, and they apologized to him. Then the king gave them a great teachings that resulted in their future birth as a human who practiced Dharma. The point of this verse is that when people act badly, the Bodhisattvas response in to help them, unlike ordinary, people who would retaliate against them. Bodhisattvas seek to benefit evildoers, not only in the present lifetime, but also with the intention of helping them toward in their future lifetimes, to be free from sufferings. But yeah, so like that. So uh, mm, so when the so when the Buddha was enlightened in Bodh Gaya, he gave his first sermon on the Four Noble Truths to his 5 disciples, who immediately achieved arhatship, or the path of seeing. The Buddha later told Ananda that those 5 monks had earlier been the 5 blood-drinking demons. So I think I've clarified, um, about the, usually when we hear about the 5 disciples of the Four Noble Truths, when Buddha first turned the wheel of Dharma, the story story usually relate to the 5 tigers, 5 tigers. So here in relation to this story, relating to the 5 demons that who drank, who eat fresh flesh and drink warm blood from King Maitreyabala. So so this is a subsequent lifetimes, so therefore it's the same subsequent what do you call the same continuation of the life, and in different life, such as different life story. It's the same Brahmin that who is the reincarnation of the 5 yakshas, five blood drinker demons, and as well as the 5 tigers family of the past. Yeah, so there's no contradictory in that. So now the verse 4 says, just as when he was born as the chief merchant's son, Jala Bahana, he rescued fish by reciting the name of the Sugatas. So too must you give gift of sublime Dharma to all those who are impoverished of Dharma. So again, after referring to the life stories of this Bodhisattva chief merchant's son, Jalavahana, which is also called as a young water carrier. So in Tibetan, it's Chongben Kiu Chubet. So after referring to the story, then one should aspire that in the same way, may I be able to practice giving the holy Dharma to the infinite beings destitute of Dharma. Then the story to that. So the previous verse very much the practice of generosity of material gift like blood, flesh. So this verse very much focus on the practice of generosity of Dharma. Like in the practice of generosity, there are generosity of material gift, generosity of protection. Protection from an example, protecting from like such as 5 elemental harm like a fire, etc. Protection from the fear of punishment, etc. Then the generosity of Dharma is the providing Dharma wisdom, Dharma such as Dharma advice, Dharma teachings, and to others. So the story in this verse is about another of Buddha's past life, when he was the chief merchant's son, Jala Bahana. In this story, the Bodhisattva Jala Vahana saved many fish from dying in the lake that was drying out. He brought water from great distance to replenish the lake and save the life of fish. And he also recited the name of the Tathagatas and other secret words, other secret prayers and mantras like, and and that way bless the fish, or teach, bless the fish with the Dharma generosity by reciting powerful by reciting Buddha's name, Tathagata's name, and the sutras and the mantras. Because of that, which eventually result these fishes eventually resulted in liberation. They are liberated. You see, so like that. Mm. So, so you see, so we can see this very clear example from our precious Guru Gyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche, uh, and many other lamas does, but you can see, you can see very obvious, and I think most of you here in the teaching have closely, may have encountered like Gyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche. For Rinpoche, whenever he get opportunity, uh, as long as any being that surround him, it could be ants, it could be goats and sheep, it could be cows, it could be fishes, it could be bird, immediately the Rinpoche would recite mantra, recite powerful mantra to them, recite prayers to them, recite, sutras to them, even, offer teachings, even offer teachings to them, like a general teaching, like how we how we teach to the human. Rinpoche would just sit there for hours and taught Lamrim, taught Lamrim to them like that. Uh, Whenever Rinpoche approach in the town where there's a lake or oceans, Rinpoche will put great effort to go to the oceans, go to the lake. Then there, Rinpoche would recite, prayers, mantras, or bless the water and pour the blessed water into the ocean, into the lakes, like that. Then Rinpoche, put a great effort to have animal sanctuaries. Then there, not just to feed the animal with the food and give the shelter, but then emphasize specially to have a stupa, like holy objects, statues, and stupa, and scriptures. At least stupa, which holds powerful relics and powerful, dharma relics, like like sutras, mantras, for the animals to go around and circumambulate. Then uh, advised to um, play the recording mantras, the recording sutras. You see, so so these are all in the category of giving dharma, the charity of dharma, charity of dharma. So you see, so these are the things that we learn. We should aspire. And we should learn and conduct in our best ability, because there are so many um, uh, you know level of practices of generosity of dharma, which is the best charity among all the charities. Comparing to the charity of protection, charity of material gift, the charity of dharma is the supreme, is most powerful. That not only benefit in the present moment, but also benefit for future lifetime. All the way up to the ultimate liberation from all the faults and samsara. You see, so so we, and many people, I think, even in these people who are listening to the teaching, I think many of you may have pets, like dogs, cats, or I don't know, maybe snakes, kangaroos, wallabies. I have no idea, but there, many people have so many different type of pets, and definitely, mostly have dogs and cats. You see, so those are the opportunity for not just give them shelter, not just giving them food, which is so important, but then more than that, to benefit them for ultimate benefit of enlightenment. Then you give the charity, you give the generosity of dharma. You recite mantras for them, you recite sutras for them. Whenever you do, I think many of you who are listening to the teaching, I'm sure have daily practices. Maybe half an hour, 1-2 hours of recitation of mantra or meditation session or sadhana practices. So during that time, try to do those practices, in front of the animals, your pets, or let the pets to join you, during your session, So whatever chanting that you do, they hear, so that they are benefited. So we can do like that. Then at home, if it's convenient, if some of you are living alone and you also have a pet, then in the house you can play the recording of powerful mantras like Cheresik, Long Dharani. Like I think last few days ago, the session that I did with Tasmania Chadong Chendong Center, that session very much talk about the how powerful, how amazingly benefit of the Cheresik Long Dharani. You see, so there are many CDs and the recordings now even from YouTube, even from internet. You can get it. The recordings of Chenrezig Longdarani, Omani Pemi Hong. You see, so you can just play them so that the animal in your house, and including those some people's house got cockroaches, so got spiders, got ants. So we don't get bothered by them. Rather, we feel opportunity given to us by this cockroach, by these spiders, by these ants. Instead of feeling they are disturbing you, you feel they are manifestations of like Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and gurus, come to sweeten, help to sweeten your spiritual journey towards enlightenment, because they give you great opportunity to accumulate extensive merit by offering the generosity of Dharma to them. Unbelievable, isn't it? By giving opportunity for you to perform one of the so important practice in order to surpass Bodhisattva path and actualize enlightenment. Without going through this channel, no one can actualize enlightenment. So your cockroach, your spider, your cat, your dog, your ants, your cow, everyone, your bird, everyone is came there to help you. You see, so it's just in the flip of thinking, you know, up to now you used to feel, even those rats, used to feel so disturbing, like cockroach, so disturbing. But now from this teaching, now you realize, wow, in fact, they are as equal as a guru and Buddha coming into my life, to help me to progress swiftly in my spiritual practice towards enlightenment. You see, so all of them become in the moment of snap, of thinking, that all of them become your friend. All of them become so good for you. You see, so like that. But of course, those who are living in the family, then you have to be considerate about rest of the other family members. If they don't want to listen mantra, then better don't play loud sounds. Yeah. So so you see, so we can learn from all these gurus. You see, all these practices. I mean, everywhere when we walk, we encounter so many animals, like such as ants, and those are the opportunity. Whenever we get, if obviously come in your way, then the best thing that you can do for your benefit and for their benefit is immediately, you pray for them and you recite mantra for them. Yeah, so like that. Mm. Mm. Then if we happen to go to zoo, happen to go to the wild, uh, you know, um, take the opportunity to recite mantras. So like that, you see. So there are many stories that when the animal hear the mantra, like Om Mani Padme Hum, and recitation of prayers, like sutras, like Heart Sutra, etc. So whatever prayer that you recite. So there are many stories that by in the past, those masters and panditas, by doing so, those animals, when they take reincarnate, when they reborn, they born as human being, and they born into a spiritual family, then within that lifetime they actualize great realizations. There are so many stories like that. Mm. Yeah. So. Mhm. Oh, then verse 5. Just as when he was born as a prince, Markal Yanatha, uh, he bore uh, Papartha's ingratitude with great compassion. So too must you be especially kind and compassionate towards your companions. Ingratitude, uh, steering of negative traits. Hmm? So the Prince Yanatha is referring to Prince Great Meaningful Virtue. Prince Great Meaningful Virtue. Mm? In Tibetan, it's called Gyalbu Godön Shenpo. Mm? So again, referring to the stories of this Bodhisattva prince, then uh, that you aspire that in the same way, may I cherish with a great compassion to those around me who disturb me with their ungratefulness and bad dispositions, etc. So can think like that. So the story for this. So anyway, the verse, the main focus, the the charity or the generosity of compassion, or the practice of compassion. Mm. Uh, mm, mm. So as we most people know that the historical Shakyamuni Buddha had a cousin Devadatta, mm, who in his life has no respect for the Buddha and was always competing with him and trying to harm him. And so this story concerned their relationship in one of Buddha's past life, as very long time ago, when Buddha was a prince, Markayanatha. Uh, uh, he, the Bodhisattva, whose Bodhisattva whose aim is in great virtue, uh, the prince great meaningful virtue. When he was then, at that time, he had a brother, Prince Papartha. He has a brother, Prince Papartha. He whose aim is sin. So his brother's aim is um, is only virtue. No, then his brother, the Prince Papartha, his only aim is to commit sin. Is completely uh, attracted to the sin. Then another brother is completely gathering of virtue, attracted to virtue. Mhm. So no matter the stories, no matter how kindly the prince Makalyanartha um, behaved towards his brother, Prince Pithartha responded only with evil. Uh, in spite of this, Prince Makalyanartha was compassionate and patient with him. Uh, mm, mm. So it was this prince, Papartha, who was born in later life as a Shakyamuni Buddha's cousin, Devadatta. Mm, mm, Yeah. So this verse, recommend that that we treat our friends, associate in a similar way how the prince, Margalyanatha would respond. Mm? Responding only with kindness and compassion, even they are ungrateful, or even they are harmful to you, even how badly that you treated, because this is the essence of the Bodhisattva's training, essence of the Bodhisattva's practice. And 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 keeping this story in our heart, then we try our best in our lifetime to also to practice in our best way, in such conduct, in our day-to-day life, uh, in ordinary human society, uh, whether in the circle of family, circle of friends, in the circle of institutes, societies, in the circle of the world, uh, you know, uh, due to the influence of the negative emotions like selfishness. Mhm. uh, uh, yeah, because of that, then how much you do kind to them, how much you care for them, you help them, but then at the end, not necessarily that we always get a good response. We It's not necessary we will get a response of gratitude, response of appreciation. Not necessary, because of the influence of delusion and the karma. You know, in most cases, that in a larger uh, um, journey of life, we experience more ingratitude, you know, uh, situations than in a gratitude situation, relating to people, those who to whom you help. But as a practitioner of Mahayanic Dharma, practitioner of Lojong, practitioner of Bodhisattva's path, then uh, from our side, uh, there's no difference. It doesn't matter. People treat good and people treat bad, whatever way they treat you. From your response, your response will be only in compassion and love, and your speech, your gesture will be compassionate and lovingly, engaging with them. You see, so this is especially in a circle of Dharma. We carry the name of Dharma. You see, so Buddha's teaching, very very minimal. The basic foundation of Buddha Dharma is non-violence. So you see, so we cannot relate to others, even someone come to harm you, even someone come to destroy entire your home, your institution, even someone come and burn entire your Dharma text, and destroy entire your holy objects. Even in that, even in that situation, we have to respond with very gentle, kind word, very gentle, kind, physical gesture, and most importantly, our heart cannot be disturbed. Our heart has to be fully in generations of sincere love and compassion to those disturbing, situation and disturbing people. That should be the way. Mm. Oh, especially, as a Mahayanic Dharma practitioner, Mahayanic Sutrayana Dharma practitioner, Mahayanic Tantrayana Dharma practitioner, like Chinese Mahayana, or general Mahayana tradition, or Tibetan Mahayana, Tibetan Vajrayana practitioner, and we as a in the in the in we when we carry this title, when we are in the um, you know what you call, in the family, spiritual family of Vajrayana and Mahayana, then uh, It's no way, no way that we treat others with the violence speech, with the scolding and harsh word, violent physical action, causing physical, causing pain to others. Uh, then worse than that, having the heart of malice, having the heart of uh, selfishness, hatred. No way, no way. You see, even due to the influence of the past lifetimes karma and delusion, that it may arise, but we cannot allow to express it. We cannot allow to progress those negative emotion in our heart when we deal with the situation. Whether to do with whether we are in the position of leading monastery, nunnery, leading Dharma organization, leading Dharma center, or leading your family in the your family in Buddhist value. Then especially your own life, who is who to whom you lead on certain ground of value, certain basis of value, and that is a Buddhist value. You see, good human beings value first. Secondly, Buddhist value. Uh, good human beings, value is if you be honest, and not causing any kind of general harms through your body, speech, and mind to anyone else, then that will generate happiness in you. So that's the benefit of, at least being a good human being. Secondly, then good Buddhist, then definitely has to be expressed on the basis of love and compassion. Completely, your attitude, turn into love and compassion, expression of love and compassion, completely empty, absent of nonviolence. Then that is as a good Buddhist, or then as a good Mahayanic practitioner, like such as Mahayanic Sutrayana, Mahayanic Lojong practitioner, Mahayanic Tantrayana practitioner, whichever tradition you follow, then it completely overwhelm, completely fill our heart with altruism. You see, uh, not only living a life, working for others, starting from that very person, that very being's temporary happiness, but working for the all the way up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment, not only for that person, but rest of the other sentient beings. You see, so that way, whoever you meet, whether you whether you are relating your body, speech, and mind with your loved one, your enemy, your strangers, human, non-human, beneficial beings, harmful beings, Buddhas, sentient being, doesn't matter. You relate the same way to every single numberless sentient beings. You see, you how you show respect to Buddha, similar way you show respect to the sentient beings, ordinary sentient beings. How you care for your family and loved one, you care similar way to the strangers and the enemies. You see, so so this is so the you see, so that way then we become good Mahayanis. We become good Mahayanist practitioner, good Buddhist practitioner, good human being. See, so like that. You see, so these are the things. Then eventually that we get perfected in that, sustainable such kind of practices. So by referring to this story, then we try to nurture ourselves. Nurture ourselves. You start with everything. Start with within yourself. You start to treat yourself good first. You see, start from there. We train from there. You see, we have to treat ourselves as a good human being, as yourself as a good human being, and treating one another human being as a good human being. which is making sure that don't cause unhappiness to yourself, don't cause harm to yourself. You see, so the basic understanding is, if we live in delusions, if we perform negativities, then that will, bring regrets. That will bring karmic consequences, whether you believe or not. The action consequences will come in one's way. You start to be in the insecure environment, then that naturally, brings so much anxiety and suffering to you. You see, so when you start to live fully in virtue, uh, you know, you honest life, fully in virtue, then you don't have to fear for anybody. You see, because your body, speech, and mind is transparent in virtue. There's nothing that no karma will go after you. No, conventional law will go after you. You know, so nothing will able to go after you in this life, in future lifetime, whether there's future life or not. You know, because you live a life with honesty and only virtue. You never thought, you never had an evil thought to anyone else. You see, then that way, when you sleep, you're able to sleep so well. When you move around, you move around with confidence. You see, uh, even you're living in a very poor, kind of like poor house, poor clothes, in a very simple poor food. You don't feel poverty, because you have this confidence of virtue. You see, you you are like as if like living in palace. Abundance. You see, like that. You see. But then when we cheat people, when we harm people, even living in the mansion, you feel insecure. You feel that you earn by cheating others. You see, then you feel uneasy. You see, like that. So first we have to treat to ourselves, uh, you know, as a good human being. We start to treat good ourselves. You see, so living in the virtuous life. Then, secondly, we need to treat ourselves as a good Buddhist, which will make sure that we never commit. We have to be mindful of not committing non-virtues. Like such as 10 non-virtues. Like such as 10 non-virtues, by understanding the consequences of 10 non-virtues. You see, like such an example, like if you kill something, if you don't purify, first of all, by killing, then you commit, you know, uh, you commit the causes, the result of the resultant fruition, then the result similar to the cause, and environmental result. You see, and if we commit stronger the karma of killing, then the resultant karmic effect is to suffer in the lowest hell realm. Then even if we happen to born in the karma interrupted and happen to born into human realm, then we experience sickness, short life, because of the karma similar to the cause. Then environmentally, we have to live in the place where there's a lot of disease. We born in the time where there's a lot of disease. You see, mm? uh, very difficult to get medicine, very very difficult to obtain doctors. You see, then a lot of causes and conditions, including the food, become like poison. Like like sometimes, like sugar is so delicious, but then eating too much sugar, for some people the sugar become like poison to you, but diabetes, like etc., like that. These are very much environmental karma. You see, so so if we don't, so as a Buddha, so you see that similar goes to rest of the 10 non-virtues, and rest of the non-virtues. There are numberless non-virtues. You see, so as a good Buddhist, to care for ourselves, first thing, we have to avoid non-virtues. At least start with the 10 non-virtues. Then gather 10 virtues. You see, so that way we take care of ourselves in the present moment, and also take care of our future journeys, to not to get into trouble. You see, by gathering the virtues, even we have committed non-virtues in the past lifetime because we don't know Dharma, then even when we are experiencing, currently we are going through the experience of the environmental karma and the karmic results similar to the cause now, then at least using the Dharma tools like antidotes to purify ourselves. Is it purify ourselves, purify the karma, purify the delusion once for all. You see, so you see, we need to take care of ourselves. Before we are able to take care of others perfectly in Dharma, we have to take care of ourselves. You see, that's why, like us, especially like who teach Dharma, have to be even extra mindful, to tame myself in the Dharma, so that I can at least have a confidence to speak out, share the Dharma to others. If you don't practice in your very best and you ask someone to practice, that doesn't work in the field of Dharma. It's not like academic knowledge. It's Dharma knowledge. Dharma knowledge. The criteria for people who teach Dharma, you have to practice. You may not have the realization, but you have to practice your best effort, your 100% investment of your time, life, whether you gain realization or not, then you speak the Dharma to others, so like that, you see. So similar way, in the family, you don't have to be a Dharma teacher, but within 5 family, if you are Buddhist, then you really literally have to be better than rest of the other family members, who may be free thinker, who may be free thinker, or who may be spiritual practitioner but don't believe in karma, you see. Who may be spiritual practitioner but who may not accept future lifetimes, you see. But you as a Buddhist who accept future lifetime, you see, who understand the consequences of negative and virtuous karma, you see. So therefore, then your spiritual guru is Shakyamuni Buddha, you see, the guru of non-violence, guru of immeasurable compassion and love, you see. So therefore, now you treat your family member on the basis of that motto or that moral conduct, that basic Buddhist moral conduct. You treat the rest of your family members, you see. So this is so otherwise we behave ourselves worse than the rest of the family members, but then pointing finger to them that you have to practice Dharma, you have to chant mantra, you have to do this, you cannot do that, then it doesn't make sense. First we have to practice and we illustrate that to the family member, then we can confidently say, okay, you follow me to the center, you follow me to the monastery, you follow me to the pilgrimage, you follow me to recite mantra, you follow me to do retreat, so we can confidently say that, isn't it? Sometimes we encounter, in some family, they push their partner, their children to go to Dharma center, go to recite sutra, like that. But looking at you, I better shouldn't practice Dharma. I better shouldn't go to Dharma center, because when it comes to anger, you are the most angry person. When it comes to self-centeredness, you are the number one. When talk about depression, emotional crisis, you are the number one, first one who get depressed. When you want to yell people, you are the number one. You are the leader of the yeller to others. You yell always to us, and now you say you come to center, you come to Dharma to practice. Who will follow you? It's understood, isn't it? No, so like that. So you see. So then we lead our life in the Mayanic value, on top of that, you see. So there's a stacks there, you see, there's a label there. So the Mayanic, since we call ourselves a Mayanic follower, Mayanic practitioner, then we try our very best to live and guide our life in a Mayanic way, you see. Even though for some people, they just don't care about animal, you only care about human, then you at least there's a kind of extra kind of caring, even to the animals, you see. Then you express, uh, you know, like an example, fishing. For some people, fishing is like fun. Fishing is no sin. So even in some religious practitioner, fishing is like no sin. So people taught to fish, and people go to fish. When people have a relaxation, holidays, they go to fishing. You see, but then as a Buddhist, as a Mahayana Buddha Dharma, we able to understand the fish has an equal, equal wanting and do not wanting of suffering and happiness like the human being. So, we rather when we go around the sea, even next sitting, there's one fisherman there, at least from your side, the other men fishing, but you recite mantra to the fish. You give food to the fish. You kind of express kind of compassionate expression to the fish. You see. So you see. So then, when we are walking, we should have a, more mindful about the creatures on the road, creatures around us. You see, like ants, etc. Then there are so many formless beings. Could be Buddhas, could be Bodhisattvas, could be ghosts, could be spirit. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. When we walk around, you see, we say virtuous, we think virtuously, and we walk with mindfulness. In the concern of every sentient being's well-being. You see. So then, in that way, when you walk like arahat. Your walking also has some kind of gentleness, peacefulness, you know, uh, peaceful, elegant. You see, not anyhow. When you speak, you speak. Your speech always has the element of, the taste of, altruism. You see, in your heart, no question about that. Because of you carry the altruistic attitude, then wherever you are, you bless everyone. The wind touches your body, that touches the other beings, naturally bless, naturally benefit. Wherever you travel, every place is a bless. You see, so like that. You see, so these are the things that we can learn. Then verse 6. Just as when he was born as a Mangi Bodhisattva, he pulled an evil person from a well, so too must you save those ridden with evil compassionately, with no thought of reward or recognition for your help. Mangi Bodhisattva, Bodhisattva, Mangi Bodhisattva, Iko Mangi Bodhisattva, Chanju Semba Tu. So again, relating to the deeds, to the story, then you aspire in the same way. May I benefit evil beings without discouragement, and compassionately guide them without expecting favor in returns. So like that. So now the story here. So the Bodhisattva sometimes manifests in an animal or other form in order to save others. As in this story about the time that the Buddha was born as a Bodhisattva in the form of Mangi living in the jungle. At that time, the Mangi Bodhisattva rescued a man who had fallen into a well. They were both exhausted by the rescue and decided to rest in shift to watch out for each other. That night, while the monkey was sleeping, the man thought, I'm so weak. How will I ever be able to get out of this jungle? I need to eat some meat to get enough strength. So I will have to kill the monkey and eat his flesh. Then the man picked up a large rock and threw it at the monkey Bodhisattva. It didn't kill him, it only hit him and woke him up. Not suspecting that the man had wished to injure him. The monkey asked him what had happened. The man couldn't speak or move, but sat shamefaced and weeping. The Bodhisattva realized that had happened and felt great compassion for the man because he would suffer in the future owing to such an evil action. He was much more concerned for the man than for himself. Despite what the man had done, the monkey Bodhisattva gave him advice, fed him, and lead him out of deep jungle. When they were about to take their leave, the monkey Bodhisattva sincerely advised the man, "You are a human being, far superior to me, a mere monkey. Uh, a human being can accomplish great virtue. So from now on, you should avoid evil and practice only virtues." Such a wonderful advice, isn't it? Mm. Yeah, then, when we think about ourselves, sometimes suddenly, we become like this evil man. Suddenly your heart like goes into darkness, in negative emotions, you see. So that time, then we try to find a way, like this Bodhisattva monkey, to wake ourselves up from there by advising, reminding the Dharma teaching, Dharma practices, etc. Then uh, making sure that not only not to suffer now, but also to avoid suffering in the future. So something like that. Yeah. Mm. So in another way, you see, in our life, not only to your own emotion, but then physically, externally, when we offer help to others, and sometimes people backstab you, people, it happens. It happens. You see, uh, uh, mm, after doing so much to your own benefit, but at the end, then accuse and blame and etc. That uh, sometimes how things are happen in this samsaric world is unbelievable. How uh, how cruel sometimes the man can be. How cruel the human being can be. You see, so thinking that is very scary. You see, so therefore, really need strong Dharma imprint, and really need to work hard by everybody, those who already so fortunate to meet the Dharma, meet the virtues, practice diligently within ourselves, and also to spread, to really to share as much as possible, to as many places as possible, to any many people as possible, so that everyone will understand correct teaching, correct dharma, correct virtue, and so that then no one harm each other. Then no evils to each other. You see, so everyone become virtuous friend to each other. You see, so therefore, like the dharma centers, dharma teachings, and dharma materials. So urgent, so important. You see, uh, uh, like like myself, very important to study Dharma correctly. Then after study, it's very important to share the Dharma, with others. You see, otherwise, uh, I may be alone, be benefited so much, but I cannot able to, bring benefit to so many others. You know, let many others to also receive the benefit. You see, then those who have the capability in the monasteries, in the Dharma centers, Dharma organizations, then you see not only you receive the benefit, but you work hard selflessly for the benefit of so many others. Correct learning of the Dharma, correct understanding of Dharma, then correct virtues, correct virtuous life, So you really like put effort to gather introduce the Dharma, introduce the Dharma value to as many people as possible, uh, as effective as possible. You see, uh, so like that. Everyone, everyone. As I mentioned before, you as a Buddhist follower, so Buddhist, how valuable Buddhist teaching is. If you really know that, then now you be the example to really influence so many others, starting from your family members, to also practice Buddhist value. And this is exactly, your service to reduce more samsara and to increase, more virtuous, society. You see, then then you try, each people do that in each town, each city. Uh, that's the easiest way to really to bring everyone into a spiritual practice, into virtuous practice. Otherwise, even how, I mean, so rare to have a, such a enlightened, attractive, a teacher like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, that who can, in one go can draw, millions of people. It's so rare. It's like a star in the daytime. You see, so rare. But that doesn't mean that uh, cannot achieve the goal. Each and everyone, like myself and yourself, uh, even like very very the most um, unequipped, like very much like helpless people like me, also I need to do my part, and you can do by your part. So everyone start to do that in your start from yourself. You practice well, then that shine in your family and that shine in your society. Then, I mean, can you imagine, just from this platform of this teaching, people from all over the world, maybe it could be one, maybe one from America, one from Europe, one from Australia, one from Asia, but at least, it's scattered so far, you see, everywhere, you see. uh, and even from one nation, there may be 10 people out there, but those 10 people not necessarily from the same town. It could be from different town, and you can do your work. You can be beneficial in your town, and other one be beneficial in your town. You don't have to go so far away in others town to do. You start with your town, rest each and individual do in their town, then whole world can able to cover, isn't it? So like that. Sometimes we think that we need to cover everywhere. Is that not necessary? As long as we do properly, like a proper Dharma practice, sustainable Dharma practice, correct Dharma practice first within ourselves. So every individual start to practice like that. So many good Dharma practitioners. Then that start to shine in the family. Or every people have at least two, three family members. How many number grows. You see, and that each of the family member also grow. Like revolt. The revolt effect. You see, then I think work can be better so greatly. Otherwise, we just give the responsibility to only few gurus. A few like that. Then it cannot work. Few organizations, a few gurus, then that cannot cover everyone, isn't it? So like the monkey bodhisattva, you see, even he is monkey, but then he performed the act of bodhisattva. That's why he even received the name of Bodhisattva monkey. You see, and he did his part, even though the way he advised to the evil man. He said, "You are man, and I'm just a monkey." You see, so you have a more greater opportunity, greater capability to perform virtue. So he said, don't waste your time. You help yourself now, you help your future. It's amazing, isn't it? You see. So each and every practitioner do that. I think the benefit is great. Okay, so then, oh yeah, so these are the 6 different stories. Okay, so then now the verse 7 is alas, there is no one who has not been your parent. There is not one instant of happiness in this jungle of psychic existence. Responding with evil to evildoer is the senseless as a donkey's horn. So alas, kihu is like kind of emphasizing very specifically, or is kind of like a surprising or shocking kind of like an expression. So there's no one who has not been your parent. You see, why we need to do the practices that shared before of the Buddha's past lifetime, that why we also need to aspire to practice is so that extent for the benefit of rest of the sentient being. Why? The reason is because there's not even a one single sentient being not have not been your parent before. Even that person may be even though the person to whom that you're dealing with can be enemy, but he or she has been your parent before. Even someone like a cockroach or rat that was disturbing you so much, but this cockroach and this rat also has been your mother before, your parent before. So for that reason, then the best way to deliver uh, the repaying the kindness of all these mother sentient being is to to engage in the practice of six paramita, like practice of generosity, then get perfected in all the six parameters practices up to enlightenment. So that's the best way. There's not one instant of happiness in this jungle size existence. We cannot be biased, generating compassion to only to our family members, not to the enemy, not to the strangers. The reason is all are in the same, in the same situation, in the same field of samsara. So therefore, as similar like your loved one or yourself who are in samsara, who do not wish even the slightest suffering, who only aspire for happiness, whose actual reality, the situation is, absolutely void of happiness and completely in the suffering of pervasive compounded suffering. So therefore, in that reason, then expressions of our love and compassion has to be pervasive, not biased. It has to be equal to everyone. It has to be immeasurable compassion. It has to be immeasurable love. Our altruism has to be, equanimity to rest of the sentient beings. So this is a giving reason why we need to behave virtually to rest of the numberless sentient beings. This is the reason. Then responding with evil to evildoer is senseless as a donkey's horn. So donkey don't have a horn. You see, like rabbit has no horn, donkey has no horn. But then you keep emphasizing, you keep debating with other that donkey definitely has horn, rabbit definitely has horn. How much time you spend also is a sign of foolishness, isn't it? There's no way you can prove that donkey has a horn, and no way you can prove rabbit has a horn, isn't it? So therefore, for the evildoers, like such as enemy and the evildoers, we respond in the evil way, and this is like the response of senseless, the response of like senseless, like the example given, like a donkey horn. You see, so meaning is very childish. If we respond to the harm givers, we retaliate with harm, then it is a behavior of childish. It is behavior of senseless. So he's talking about that. You see. So as we discussed before, as a first thing, as a good human being, surely we want to be good human being, isn't it? Then secondly, that we regard as a Buddhist, isn't it? Then thirdly, we regard as a Mahayani follower, isn't it? So therefore, if we relate other sentient being with negatively, then we become senseless. As equal as a senseless. You see, as equal as childish, like that. You see. So the meaning here is that the way how relate to others, especially to the evil doers, harm givers, enemies, with the retaliation, then that is wrong. That's a mistake. So this is talking about that. Then verse 8. Now, despite respectfully embracing the heroic example of the great sage, if you fail to cultivate the antidote, engaging in the practice of hero's way become impossible. So embrace the practice of austerity, even the cost of your life, even at the cost of your life. So this is the conclusion. First, Dhammarashita share the stories of the Bodhisattvas of the past. Then secondly, he give a reasoning. Why we need to behave that way to others. Very serious three reasonings. First, as a all being as your parent. Secondly, in samsara, everyone has the same aspirations in the same situation. You see, and thirdly, with this human intelligence, as especially as a follower of Dharma, then if we behave negatively, then it's a senseless. You see, so giving these three reasons, then now uh, the practical cultivation. Now you should practice this way. So it's a giving a practical guideline. So this is now, despite respectfully embracing the heroic example, even you aspire to aspire to actualize, carry on the practice of the way how Bodhisattvas have practiced before, like of the great sage. If you fail to cultivate the antidote, you see, those practices, those aspirations will not achieve the goal. Your practices will not succeed if you fail to cultivate the antidote. So, emphasizing specifically what is the key practice in order to achieve the amazing Bodhisattva's conduct that we shared before, or fulfill the three reasoning, or three reasoning that give before, not to fall into those faults and actualize the three benefits, those benefits. What will do that? By cultivating the antidote. What are the antidote? Bodhicitta and emptiness, the true altruism. Why? Because all the faults, all the mistakes, all the failure in Bodhisattva's conducts are due to self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. Because of that, so as long as any practice that antidote to, as long as any practice that that purifies, that start to purify, that directly open on to the self-grasping, self-cherishing attitude, then that is the way to lead our life towards Bodhisattva's path. That's the way, that's the practice and the way for us to achieve by repaying the kindness of all Mother Sentient Being. That is the way and the practice to empty the cyclic existence for oneself and for the rest of the sentient being. And that's the way how the wise one, like the Bodhisattvas and the sage of the past, have accomplished, including enlightenment. You see, the greatest purpose for yourself and for the rest of the sentient being, which is enlightenment. So this is to cultivate the antidote, bodhicitta and emptiness. So engaging in the practice of the hero's way become impossible. So without cultivating bodhicitta and emptiness, then engaging in the practice of the Bodhisattva's way become impossible. So therefore, whoever aspire Buddha's path, whoever aspire Bodhisattva's path, then whoever aspire Lojong's practice, Mahayanic practice, Bodhicitta practice, then embrace the practice of austerity, even the cost of your life. So the way how we practice, not like, like occasional. When we are happy, we practice. When we're unhappy, we give up. Today practice, tomorrow give up. Or suddenly go into retreat. Practice like so hard, but then after that, like totally, totally release yourself in the beach. Like completely, completely intoxicated with the beer, completely, burn your body with sun. It's like completely, I mean, nothing wrong with going to beach, nothing wrong. I'm not saying that. What I mean, just try to illustrate, like, for suddenly lock into the cave and like don't want to see anybody, like 24 hours chanting, meditation practices. But then after retreat finish, like everything put aside and just completely become wild. The samsaric way, is it? So that doesn't work. That doesn't work. So that will not lead. Then especially when we are tested by our past karma, like sickness comes in our way. Even how much practice we practice, sickness comes, old age approach, then even death comes in our way. tragedy comes in our loved one, then we suddenly start to like kind of caution, our practice, so that kind of practitioner cannot succeed, you see. Mm. So the way to the success of the Bodhisattva's path is you practice sustainably, even in the course of your life. Even in the course of your life, that you do not separate from the practice of the altruism. You see. So there's one story that His Holiness used to share. There's one prisoner from Tibet, one master. After he was released for maybe 20 over years of prison in the prison, then he came to India. Then he has an audience with His Holiness. Then His Holiness asked, what was the situation in the prison? Have that so difficult? He says that everything was okay. The only thing concerned was that I may lose my altruism, because the physical torture and the suffering, the physical suffering is so much there, so much torturing, that once a while there's almost like losing patience, losing great compassion, losing great love and altruism to the prison guards, the authorities. So he said that was the only fear that he had. Otherwise, everything okay. And he guarded even almost course of his life. He guarded altruistic practice. Like that. So there are many stories like that. So then is after the display of the Sugata's transcendent from the world, if you who aspire to follow in his footsteps fail to cultivate this practice in your heart, there is a risk that being's happiness will evolve no more. So after the display of the Sugata transcendent from the world, even after Buddha was, someone actualized as a Buddha, then if you who aspire to follow, even you aspire to follow someone up there as object of refuge and like the Buddha, but fail to cultivate this practice in your heart. But even how perfected Buddha out there, how perfected teaching out there, but then you fail to practice the Buddha's aspiration and the Dharma in your heart, then there's a risk that being's happiness will evolve no more. Then there's a risk that you may not be free from samsara. You may not actualize the Buddhahood. So this teaching, emphasize like what Buddha says, that Buddha cannot, wash away your sin. Buddha cannot, take, like kind of like taking a thorn from you. Buddha can only reveal the Dharma. Then you practice and you actualize the liberation. You see. So even how powerful Buddha out there, how great sages out there, how many Buddhas, other beings have enlightened, include like our gurus, even how perfected they may be, they have actualized enlightenment. But if we don't follow their teaching in our heart, you see, if we don't develop ourselves, if we fail to practice their example, practice their teaching in our life, in our heart, then we cannot be free from samsara. You see, we cannot be free from samsara. You see, so therefore, the homework is the most important. You see, so just praying, so Buddha will do something for you. It won't work. We pray to Guru will do something to us. It doesn't work. Buddha's purpose is to reveal the correct Dharma. Guru's purpose is to reveal the correct Dharma, nothing more than that. You see, so once you learn the correct Dharma, then you individually have to practice it. So this is the very important teaching. You see, in many Buddhist culture, even today, even the Buddhist knowledge are so easy to equip, so easy to learn. So many teachers are available, so many books are translated and available, but still, ourselves don't really practice. You see, we don't really engage our body, speech, and mind in practice. Rather, we just sit there and pray, offer joystick and pray And as long as you have connection with one very powerful guru, then you think that your enlightenment is taken care. There's no such thing. You see, as long as you receive one initiation from a very powerful guru, you say you are taken care, and no such thing. Or there's one guru who know how to do Phowa, so then you don't have to practice. You just wait the guru. You pay the guru like a salary. That when I die, you make sure that you be present and do Phowa to me and send me to enlightenment. It doesn't work that way. You see, if Phowa really, just by Phowa it works, I think Shakyamuni Buddha should only teach Phowa. Don't teach any of this complicated philosophy, complicated teachings. No need to teach all these so many hard, practices of the Lojong. No need to teach. You see, just teach a simple technique of Phowa. Train his monks to do how to do Phowa, then send the monks to all around the world to liberate people, to the enlightenment. Then, it would be easy job, isn't it? So Buddha didn't do that. You see, if just by initiating to someone can be enlightened, then Buddha trained, all his monks to do initiation, then just initiate, then will be enlightened. It doesn't work that way, you see. So the greatest thing that Buddha give us is by revealing the Dharma. Why we regard Guru as so precious. Guru's kindness is greater than the Buddha because of Guru revealed the correct Buddha's teaching. Because of that, nothing more than that. You see, why we regard Guru is so powerful? Because Guru revealed, teach the Dharma to you. Because of that, nothing more than that. You see, not because of the Guru has a big monastery, not because of you can have coffee with Guru, not because of anything else. The most greatest thing about Guru, because you able to communicate in Guru through the teaching, meaning that you have the access to receive teaching from the Guru. You're able to learn the correct Dharma from Guru because Guru explained the teaching correctly. You see, so because of that, you see, so ultimately we have to practice accordingly with the teaching that we have received from Guru and Buddha. That's why when we first learn the Buddha Dharma, we learn about refuge. Then when we learn about refuge, we say ultimate refuge is Dharma. They didn't say Buddha is ultimate refuge. Of course, we say in general we say what is ultimate refuge object? Is a Buddha Dharma Sangha. So within Buddha Dharma Sangha, which one is the ultimate refuge? It said Dharma. Didn't say Buddha, didn't say Sangha. It said Dharma. You see, so Dharma means the teaching. You see, so like that. Because sometimes when we are with Guru, yes, it will inspire. We'll inspire. We feel good. When we are with holiness, when we are with so many, meditators, etc. We feel good. We feel like wow, blessing. Yes, yeah. But main blessing, the real blessing, has to be actualized through consistent practice. Even though every day you do sadhana, every day you do prostration, every day you pray, every day you meditate on loving kindness, compassion, you may not really feel immediately the impact, like wow. You may not feel it, but there's a steady progress is happening in us. Through consistency. Like Adisha said, consistent. Whatever amount of practice that you learn, it's not about amount. It's about consistency, correct understanding. Then on that consistency, then realization. Even you don't want, also realization comes in your way. Even you do not want liberation, also liberation comes in your way. So that's what we said. You see. So this is very important. When we have opportunity to meet gurus, when we have the opportunity to be among with the meditators and gurus, why not? We rush for. But like today's time, in pandemic, for so many people, there's no chance to be in person with the guru. There's no chance to be in person with the meditators, or there's so many people. There's not even chance to be in person with the ordained sanghas, or the senior practitioners. You see, But now here the essence is Dharma teaching. As long as there's no barrier to receive Dharma teaching, so that is the greatest point. You see, so even through online nowadays, like even His Holiness, you see, we just need to make sure that we make sure that we don't miss those teachings. You see, because from there we can learn. You see, from there we can learn, and because of the energy is present. You see, like an example now, you see, even though it's through YouTube, but those who are live now, your energy, my motivation, your motivation, we are actually in the same same container of energy. You see, so it is different from watching later in the YouTube. You see, so there's different. Still, you receive the knowledge, but the knowledge with the blessing. So that's why like live teaching. That's why like His Holiness and other gurus, when they teach, sometimes we may think, oh, I can listen on the YouTube later. Anyway, all those teaching will be recorded, and sometimes we miss out. You see. So if we put a bit extra effort to at least be on the session, still, because of the motivational energy, it is far more greater. So anyway, in short, it's all about Dharma knowledge and Dharma teaching. That's the supreme. So then the verse 10, this then is the hero's happy way of life. Come what may, endure hardship even at the cost of your life. This is the practice of the hero's path. Chapter 1 of the exchanging the essence of poison. So this is the chapter 1. So this is the hero's happy way of life. So if we are able to live a life totally infused with the Dharma wisdom, like wake up with mind of bodhicitta or emptiness. Then throughout the day, we spend our energy, which infused by bodhicitta and emptiness. Then we come to the conclusion of the day when we go to bed. Try to go to bed either with bodhicitta or emptiness. Then we spend day-to-day life like that. Then this is the hero's happy way of life. So this is the Bodhisattva's way of life. Bodhisattva's way of life. In another way, the first in the morning when we wake up, you motivate in bodhicitta. And you remind the wisdom of emptiness, in the glimpse. Then throughout the day, you try to integrate your activity into the 6 parameters practice, like your time, your energy, your resources, including your breath. You breathe in and out, isn't it? You breathe out, like practice of generosity, all this, like practice of generosity. Or, you see, practice generosity of your time, practice, even you are taking care, preparing food for your pet, you can take onto, you remember that this is a practice of generosity of your time, your energy, preparing the practice of generosity to the pet. So then when you are feeding, then you recite, mantra, like that. Then you make sure that they are in a very secure place, like in one action, even with your pet, you make the generosity of material gift, you make the generosity of protection, you make the generosity of Dharma, like that, you see. Then generosity of morality, then, day or night, with people, without people, you observe. If you are a fully ordained monk, then try to live in those 253 vows, always, mindful, always, not to break those vows. If you are nervous, 36 vows, always live in that, for the benefit of all sentient beings. If you are just preordained, then you live in the preordained sangha, the 3 abandonments and 3 accumulations. If you are lay practitioner with the 5 lay vows, or it's just one of the 5 lay vows, you try to live your life according with those vows for the benefit of sentient being. If you just have a refuge vow, at least, if you cannot benefit others, at least be mindful of not causing harm to others, like that. Then, as I mentioned before, principle of good human being, principle of Buddhist, principle of Mahayana Buddhist practitioner. Try to live in that mindfulness, which is living in the morality, practice of the Bodhisattva's morality. Then, you deal with situation, you deal with your work colleagues, you deal with your businesses, your family, require immense of patience. So live with the mind of patience for the benefit of the society, for the benefit of family. Always be tolerant, always be patient, always forgive any difficulty comes in our way. Even something totally goes wrong, you just be patient, say okay, you know use the wisdom of impermanent, use the wisdom of impermanent, that nothing stay the same. How bad situation now I'm going through, this also will evolve, so I don't have to stress out. I rather be happy, I rather relax, okay, rather take a walk, or rather do cooking or whatever. So be patient, be forgiving. If someone just on the road like blame you, scold you, you say, you generate compassion. You forgive them. Be patient. Or even at the family, if someone like how much you do good, they harm, they accuse you, they blame you. They say you are lazy, they say you are this, you do that. Just forgive them. Forgive them and be patient. Bodhisattva path. Then joyous effort. To do all the earlier work and to do all the rest of the parameters practices, always feel joyous. To engage in the Bodhisattva's conduct, you feel that's the best thing in my life. That's the joyous thing. That's the most profitable. That's the best thing that most meaningful for my own benefit, my rest of the other sentient beings benefit, my own this life's benefit, my own future life's benefit. So much joyous effort, so much joyous effort. You see. So the six parameter practice of the joyous effort. You see. Then concentration. Then wherever, like as I mentioned before, when you walk, you be mindful, like not like not care for anything. Be mindful of the way how you walk, be mindful of the way how you talk, then be mindful of what you think. You see. So be mindful, especially when you step the foot, making sure there's no ants stepping onto it. You see. And be mindful of, there's numberless sentient beings, numberless Buddhas around, numberless samsaric sentient beings around, formless beings around. So therefore, may my this positive energy of altruism, spread to everyone. So the Buddha's omniscience will be rejoice in me, bless me, and those sentient beings, those samsaric sentient beings will receive the benefit of virtue in them, blessing to them. So be mindful. You see, be mindful. You see. Then the sixth parameter of the wisdom. You see, good things comes in your way, there's no grasping. Bad thing comes in your way, also there's no grasping. Any good thing comes in your way, you appreciate, rejoice, and then share with the, selflessly share the benefit with the, as an offering, as a abundance offering to the numberless Buddhas, numberless gurus, numberless Buddha Dhamma Sangha, holy objects. Then whatever merit that you accumulate from there, you share the merit to rest of the numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. You see. So selflessly, like that. You see. Any bad things comes in your way, any wrong things comes in your way, you interpret that into illusional, like dream, like in the dream, elephant coming into your room, entering into your room, which is no way, but you still get affected. You understood that. But in actual reality, if you go to investigate, the nature of that event, if you go to investigate the nature, ultimate nature of the person who causing harm to you, or situation that which cause harm to you, including yourself, the receiver of the problem, receiver of the situation, when you investigate thoroughly, you cannot find I inherently. You cannot find others inherently. You cannot find situation, that bad situation inherently. In fact, that bad situation is just simply imputation of your mind. That idea of negativity is also simply creation, interdependent creation of negative mind, negative karma, negative delusions, etc. So then simply release in the wisdom of dream like, illusional like, you see. So So throughout the day, while you are doing common activity, and you try to interpret in this way, it doesn't kind of drain your energy, or it doesn't kind of sway your focus from your work. It become like part of you. It's like, when first maybe you may need to repeat and train, and mindful to be trained, but after that everything become like part of you. You see. Mm. uh, oh, like that. Then when comes the day comes to end, then dedicate in bodhicitta and dedicate in emptiness, then go to bed, then you repeat the same day again, like that. So this then is the hero's happy way of life, the Bodhisattva's way of life. We can afford to do that. Huh? Come what may, endure hardship even at the cost of your life. So even hardship of this samsara, hardship of birth, hardship of aging, sickness, even death comes in our way, we don't separate from the Bodhisattva's way of life. You see, this is the practice of the hero's path. In that way, then this is the practice of the heroes, is Bodhisattva's path. So then that chapter 1 of the exchanging the essence of the poison. So the name of the chapter is exchanging the essence of the poison. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I stop here. Oh yeah. So we dedicate the merit. Whatever merit that we accumulate individually, collectively, also the merit that accumulated by past, present, future Buddhas, be the complete cause for numberless sentient beings actualize temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. Then may this collective merit be a complete cause. Anyone who passed away, in particular in the last 49 days, like Chi So Chuan, Lu Yong Kon, Te Yek Cheng, and any others to whom that you know that they pass away, including animals, and also those animals who pass away in the fire in the Spain, then flood in other part of Europe and other part of the countries, whatever. Due to COVID, people who ever pass away, may our collective merit be a complete cause for them to purify the hallucination and suffering of death and intermediate state, rebirth, actualize high rebirth in the Pure Land, and their actualized state of full enlightenment within that very lifetime. Also dedicate this merit to all the people that who are going through difficult time through COVID, difficult time due to their health issues, due to financial issues, due to relationship problems, and including of those who requested prayers, those who have some health issues, like Rachel, Gan Kim Seng, Donna Bat, and Jude Wegford, Nang Seng Hai, Madam Chimin Harang, Geshe Tille, Madam Wong, Dr. Lee, Chris Price, David, etc. May they overcome any of the health or whatever difficulty that they may have right away. May they actualize, perfect health, long life, successful, lasting happiness, and actualize full of virtue after enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. All the world leaders, leaders of the communities, leaders of family, and yourself who lead your life free from negative emotions and actualize full of loving kindness, compassion, and wisdom of selfless, so that anyone under their leadership can able to enjoy only virtues, happiness. May this quality merit be complete cause. All the good people in this world, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, all your spiritual gurus, and yourself and your family members, always enjoy good health, long life, and fulfill all your aspirations accordingly. May this collective merit be a complete cause. All the virtuous institutions like monasteries and nunneries, the Dharma centers, Dharma institutions, free from inner outer secret obstacles, and actualize all the conducive conditions to preserve the virtues and the Dharma in most extensive learning and actualization of realization on the stages of path accordingly. May this collective merit be a complete cause for each and every one of us, able to practice the Bodhisattva's conduct, and accordingly, may we able to live our life as a Bodhisattva's way of life, and may our life be most beneficial, like just like the past Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have been. The dedicated ourselves, the merit and the purpose we dedicate all lies in the nature of emptiness. Then you also dedicate whatever individual dedication that you have now, because while everyone is making the dedication, then you do that. So in a collective positive environment, that then the dedication become more effective. So you can do those individual specific dedication that you have. Jawade nyudo da lama san yedo jone do aje jamale ba de za la go ba ra yo chanjo semjo ren bo je ma je ba nam je jo je jawa ni ba ba yang ko ne ko do ba Donye da wa ren bo je ma je ba nam je jo je jawa ni ba me ba yang ko ne ko do ba je ne da wa ren bo je ma je ba nam je jo je jawa ni ba me ba yang ko ne ko do ba ya me ba wo je da jama na ko do sam bo de an de je je de da ko je jo da lo je jawa de da dam je ra do mo de so je be jawa dam je de ngo ko na je do mo ba da je je be da wa de ko Sambojo Geraldo Movara, Garera, Goving, and the Benanda Manager, Jerez, Chavez de Bado de Jojo, Jango Javet, Zinjo Bembo, Chozongo Elementor. Dazo de Jogondo Jade, Jo Pamazum Jedam Jedana, the using a rotom jetato to one, Sanjo Sambakana, Sujo. The Dagonja Mola, Judges and Geneva, Geneva, Nudo, and the Tajo, and the Nemano Patato. Bedan zowa mi gabe shen no ba zam je sem je ra ma go be samba che chen ru be da ji jo da am ne jom ne de je ba da ma da zo be zen da ma de je ba da ja jo ma zo ko zo ma da ja da do me zo ne zo do do za mi da do me zo de obu ne zo do do za mi zo da do me zo de obu ne zo do do za mi chen de je ba da ma da ba zo be zen me je ra be do je ba da cha za lo ne de je ba da ma da ba zo be zen ko da ma da je ra do be je ba da cha chen de je ba da ma da ba zo be zan je Mola to be a Yabola Chaza, Major Javi Jana, the Loma Bedaman, Dajala Sanabedu. Namda Membene, do Juro, better so make a vision over Sujawagon. Samba Jajan to Vedaji, the Baji, the Banyan. Then the Bologna, the Madamba Urin, the Vedaji Mondelets, and the Nimaguan. In the Dado de Lebe, Gonjo, Sumye Tashi. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.